All right, here we are back again. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Did
you lose a headphone?
I lose half of it.
Wonderful. We can fix that in post.
Yeah.
I
like the new intro, man.
Yeah, new intro's pretty cool.
Sounds like a car.
It is. It's a drag car.
Oh. Tad?
Oh, so that's what an American car sounds like?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Import show.
Yeah, me too. All of us. Crunch?
What's going on?
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Tad?
Yes.
You didn't prepare on the fuel injection stuff, did you?
Didn't get a chance. Everything I was repetitive just from magazines posting, this is great, buy this. And I was like, well, it doesn't tell us why.
He needs more time. There you go. He needs more time in the penalty box, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Did you get it back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a penalty box he can go in?
He should.
I'm in it, aren't I?
Don't hate.
The eternal penalty box.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to be a tough show for me to start. Like, normally I'm upbeat and power and speed and, give the phone number and everything. 908-751-0211.
Yeah, Mike had a rough weekend.
Yeah, really did. Really did. Started out on Friday night. And, there's local racing that occurs across the country all the time. There's Saturday night tracks, drag strips, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a very good friend of mine, his son and his father, they race down there. And guy's name was Mr. Cornell, John Cornell. I used to call him Mr. Big Good Johnny. There's a whole story behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, John.
Started out with Bad Johnny.
Yeah, started out with Bad Johnny. John is the guy who met these guys, my friend JJ, and he'll probably call in at some point. JJ was always classified as Bad Johnny or John. Like if somebody said John, the kid, or John would answer. So I think it was probably Cody that gave him the name Good Johnny because that's Bad Johnny. This is Good Johnny. So when I met his dad, he immediately became, to me, Mr. Big Good Johnny.
Makes sense.
So we keep everybody straight because his name's also John. And, just a great guy, never, always happy, would do whatever it took, to lend a hand or help you. He was just here. He made the cold air box, the air box under the hood for my brother's race car, back and forth with pizza box and checking it out because he lives close by. Lives by you, Todd.
Yeah.
Lives right around the corner.
Right up the street from me.
And it was kind of funny. You didn't even know he lived there, was a car guy up there until you showed up here.
Well, yeah, I met his son. I didn't know it was his father because I never met the guy before, but he was a nice guy from what I remember that short time ago.
Yeah, super nice guy. And however it happened, we all got to be close. And he was around when I was still doing a little bit of motor work from here and, helped him here and there.
Right.
I think, I don't know if he had one that I did for him. I don't even remember. It's been a while now. But, just a great all-around guy. I mean, just, it's just kind of not fair, so they go to the racetrack and, he's watching his kid race, dude. I mean, he's in the stands watching his kid race. It was hot, miserable night and, had a medical issue of some kind. And I guess some confusion as to what really went down, and that's private, it doesn't matter.
No.
Right. And what it came down to is he had a heart attack or a series of heart attacks, took him to the hospital, but he just didn't make it. Mm. And it's just, and it's messed up. We talked to God at this point, I would be willing to go out on a limb and say probably better than 25,000 people a week, per episode, so for a whole bunch of people listening to this, they have, no clue who this guy is, right. But everybody knows a guy like this.
Sure. Right.
The guy who's your buddy who, always help you. And, we went to Florida with the guy, one of the times that my brother raced at Speed Week at the Daytona track, or the Volusia. He went down there, like he, Cody and his son, took the car down there and, we had a blast. I mean, he was a really big part of overall racing in my little deal.
Somebody you get used to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so the kid, he, he's dealing with a tough loss, and my most heartfelt condolences to the whole family.
Yeah, it's his dad, man.
Prayers sent.
Yeah.
How old is the kid?
I'm going to tell you that I think Good Johnny's probably maybe 26, 27. He works. Remember the kid Cratchin, the little kid?
Right.
We made Tag go sit out in the other room.
First foray in the penalty box.
Yep.
Yeah, he worked for his father.
Yeah, he works. The kid works at Ammo Auto Body. Which is what Mike Cratchin, Brian Cratchin's father, owns.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like everybody around here, it's close. It's probably like you've got all the guys that that all race and they all know each other. And
Right.
he touched a lot of lives in the sport. And the thing that was funny, he was from all the way down like the Rahway area, and I always kind of noticed like a line, like in New Jersey, that it seemed like people, once you got too far away from the sticks, you didn't really race circle track stuff. That's why I'm always surprised that some people came from that area and they were going to Flemington when they were kids.
Right.
So that's apparently how he got started. He was he was a Flemington guy, and then they started racing asphalt tracks. And it was pretty interesting. I mean, how this whole thing came to be. What's really funny, probably one of the most bizarre things, is that the way that I met this guy was John, my goofy friend John,
Right.
and Cody went to Florida to watch the Daytona 500. And then out of the clear blue, he's sitting in the stands talking to somebody, and they find out that they're from the Shannock, like right around the corner, like from where John lives and from where Tad lives,
Right.
1,300 and something miles away.
Gotcha.
And that's how they raced an asphalt car. That's how things got started. And, that's how we all met each other. It's just,
It is sad.
yeah, it's bad. And I hate to start the show off in a bummer. I really do.
Right.
But when we first got into doing this, he listened.
Right.
He came in one day and he says, "Whoa, what the fuck is that?"
Right. Well, he's a car guy, so
Yeah.
we're going to give him that respect.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was like, "Man, it sounds like a radio." So that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, that was the idea.
And my brother was close to him, everybody was close to him. And it really just sucks.
Yep.
And I'll get a little further into how bad the weekend went. I mean, I guess, I don't know what else to say other than good Johnny and the whole family, everybody here, whether, Tom and Crunch didn't know your dad, and I did, and Tad did, met him here,
Yeah, once.
all the thoughts and prayers we can give you and your family, dude. I mean, really. And
Definitely.
just, it's sad. And I can't stress enough that, if the family needs anything, call me, call Brian, call Cody. I've been there. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you need, we got you. We got your back.
That's good of you, man.
Yep.
Amen.
So
Amen.
So,
let's address the crappy effing weekend. I don't even want to curse. I'm
mine was
so
good.
depressed.
Sorry to say, I had a good weekend.
You want to talk about your thing first? I need a minute.
Yeah,
I want to hear about the brisket.
Yeah, that was the food part. Well, I was in Texas at the Texas Invitational, and it was pretty cool. It is a 1,500-foot roll race, and it's by invitation. So it's a collection of huge money cars, Lambos, Audis, GTRs, Supras, collection of Corvettes, some pretty fast Corvettes that really couldn't hang.
I saw some nice cars. You put the pictures on
Yeah.
the Facebook page.
Yep. But it was good. I mean, thankfully, our company had parts in the guy who won it and the number 3 guy, and it was a little touch and go for a while. We had some weather come in. They ran 2-wheel drive on Friday, get that over with, and then the King of the Streets deal. They started Saturday morning, and it rained, and they dried the track, and the first pair, a Lamborghini, crashed and went to the cornfield. Didn't go over, but it made a mess. Then a couple more pairs, and it poured, and I mean it poured to the point where I went back to my hotel for an hour and just hung out, and then they got it cleaned up around 2:00 and finished it up. But I know you guys haven't seen one of them. But I mean, they roll out to 60 miles an hour in pairs, and when they roll past the judges' table, and it's not judging like
Not drifting.
not drifting. If they're at 60 on radar or at the same speed on radar, it's supposed to be below 60, I think, and they're even, the guy gives them a green light, and they go, and they run for 1,500 feet, and the number one guy I think qualified at 206 or 205 ish.
Gracious.
Yeah, and everybody was. The top 5 were all over 200 miles an hour, and it's badass. It really is. I mean, the sounds, the power. It's pretty cool. It's something we should all get to one.
Was it sound anything like our new beginning here?
They wish they went through gears like that.
Yeah, I guess they do.
It's all-wheel drive sissies.
Yeah.
Real race cars drive from the back tires. Come on.
That's pretty stout, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it is.
front wheel drives
60
always
mile
want to
an
go from a
hour
roll.
roll.
So
60
mile an hour roll, and then you said 1,500 feet from the start of green.
Yep.
Wow. So that's a little over a quarter mile to get to 200.
60 mile an hour running.
Yeah, 60 mile an hour running.
Running.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the momentum is already up.
But street cars.
But that's tough.
I mean, and real street cars. Like a lot of the guys drove their cars back to the hotel,
Wow.
which is 18 miles. And I mean, they really are like street cars.
when you said they drive the tracks, does it seem like at English Town it's a jet, on the back of a
They literally
type
they
thing,
had a jet, but it's a runway.
Right.
So runways are grooved.
yeah.
So they had this thing. They had a vacuum truck, and they literally vacuumed the whole track.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the airport thing, not the race thing.
No, they brought it in.
Really?
It was some kind of commercial vacuum. Yep.
No kidding.
Yep. And in the spots where it was bad, they had a kid, literally like a 12-year-old kid, sitting on the back of a pickup truck, and they would ride the track, and where they saw like something that wasn't drying, he would get out with a shop vac and vacuum it up. But they got it done.
Yeah, no, you gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah, Texas Speed Syndicate. They got it done, and it was pretty cool.
Now, because I was a little bit zoned out there for a minute, did you tell a story that the Lambos? They crashed, but did you say they're like spinning off, like cutting down corn at the end?
Oh yeah. Yep, right into a cornfield. Guy spun around 10 times. Not, I think that's what stopped them. The corn.
How many Lambos crashed?
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
I think one crashed a couple times.
One crashed a couple times.
Yeah, when I say crashed, this one was a little weird. See, the Lambos for some reason don't put parachutes on their cars. The Vipers, GTRs, they run parachutes because they want to stop. Just, pretty smart.
Right.
Going 200 miles an hour, I'd want to stop.
Well,
too.
the Lamborghini's got a look that you can't, you don't want to dirty up.
Yeah, well, they have that look until they crash, and then they look like a Ford Fiesta.
But these are, essentially $500,000 cars.
Easily. Easily.
a piece.
Yeah.
So
in that one picture I sent you, there was 5 or 6 of them, right?
yeah. I like the green one.
Yeah.
I get rid of the yellow piece of shit I got for the green
was
one.
badass. It really was.
And we're not going to beat on that again, but it still ain't back. So we'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
Yellow Killer. Is
Yeah,
not
it's still
back?
not back.
Okay.
Still not back. When these things went through the cornfield, did they get,
Really not bad. Dirty.
I have visions of the cartoon.
Is Mike is he about to get on to something?
No,
I don't know.
no,
He
I'm
just thinks it's funny. You got a $500,000 car that we know.
$200 parachute. And they wouldn't put it on.
Right. And they really should.
I could just picture the thing like sliding sideways and just the corn flying up in the air.
right.
It's it disappears into the corn rows, and then you just see the fucking ears of corn just come flying up in the air.
Field
over
of Dreams.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's in a different time-space continuum or some shit. But yeah, it really, dust, shit flying around, corn popping.
What are they, carbon fiber bodies or aluminum?
I don't know. They're
I was going to
painted.
say, going through corn, it's like beating the hell out
Actually
of
looked like some of them were that whole wrap thing.
Yeah, the chrome blue one is
Yeah.
wrapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the maroon one I thought I saw.
The
was
maroon
wrapped.
one's wrapped too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But now we'll just take a little side road here.
Go ahead.
What was the consensus of the people that actually do this with the real race cars, like pro mod cars? What
You
did they
think
say?
you think I'm going to say that on the air?
I think you kind of have to because we all heard it.
Heard what?
That they feel that the pro mod cars would go awfully fast in their kind of deal.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
do. They do.
Sorry.
I thought we determined that a while ago.
I know. I
I knew Mike was getting into
I was
something.
I wasn't thinking about that, but when he brought it up, it just kind of stuck in my head. I figured I had a goof on him either about the minivan with the little family stickers on the back, or the being completely inaccurate on the pro mod stuff.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, true that.
But like you said, it's an unprepped track. It's an airport runway, so it's going to be...
Don't care.
Yeah.
Big tire, lots of horsepower. Don't care. Don't care. Just to roll the boost in slow. Look, these things are going.
I'm impressed though.
I am impressed. Because that's
206,
and you know what that is
1,500 feet.
a street car. They drive the thing.
And they got no tire on them. And It's pretty cool.
It's got to feel crazy on the inside too, driving it.
Yeah, because I mean, at that kind of speed in a car that's not, I don't want to say not made for that. I mean, they're made to go fast, but Jesus, I mean, little bumps. Not only that, some of the shit I saw from like your half mile drags and stuff.
Yeah, it's not perfectly.
No,
flat.
the roads are not good.
No, they're not
by any means.
They all talk about how bad it feels.
Yeah,
because number one, you're putting a 15-inch drag radial on the back.
Yeah,
and then whatever you have on the front.
Yeah,
and and then you go that fast, and balance is never right. And oof.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that. I'd pass.
I would actually like to do it. First day when they were qualifying and testing. Well, first of all, they don't run helmets. You don't have to wear a helmet.
Huh?
It's bizarre.
That's nuts.
Oh.
I mean, all the fast guys do.
Is that because it's Texas?
No,
Or is that-
I think it's just because it's streetcar stuff.
Well, I mean, being realistic, you go to Englishtown with a streetcar, you got to have a helmet.
Yeah.
Well, that's New Jersey. It might be a Texas.
That's what I
thing.
mean. Like, you probably never pull us off in New Jersey. Like, somebody called somebody in New Jersey, airport area.
I'd want a helmet at 200 miles.
Me
an hour.
too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I don't care what.
I mean,
I'd want to shoot. Who
the
you
fast
kidding?
guys run shoots, helmets, Hans device, everything, fire suit.
I can imagine.
Now, they have cages or are they just cars?
The Lambos, I don't think have cages. All the GTRs that go fast do. The Vipers do.
Yeah, but they're drag cars too, so they have to have that for that,
Um,
aren't they?
no,
Or not? They're just top speed runners, or
I mean they drag race.
Yeah.
The one that won it, it's gone 7:59. I mean, it's pretty fast for a drag car.
well,
Now,
that's-
how much? I hate to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt
no
you.
problem.
What does a GTR cost to build in comparison to a Lamborghini? I mean, like, how much do they really need to?
Well,
do
I mean,
this?
the cars. Well, to win,
Yeah,
well, the car's 100,
yeah,
and then
yeah. But you're already 300 to 400 grand less than the Lamborghini.
It doesn't matter to those guys.
I know. It doesn't matter. It's probably a stupid conversation.
Well, the green car.
Yeah.
The guy that owns that car has that one. He has a Huracan.
Uh-huh.
He's got a Alpha 20 GTR, which is like the baddest GTR you can build. He's got an Alpha 12 GTR, which is like his street car that runs 850s.
You know what he'd really like?
Cash?
No.
A yellow Corvette.
A yellow Corvette. and we could work out a trade.
Hell yeah, you could.
Yeah, I love that green car.
Well,
I love it.
You could buy one of them.
No.
So that was it. And other than that, the barbecue in Texas is insane, man. It really is.
So we're going right from cars to food.
Well, I'm a fat guy.
I wanted to hear one more thing.
Go.
I wanted to hear about. Can you talk about some of the pricing of some of the optioning for the performance, can you not? Is that top secret stuff?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, I think it's out there, but
Everybody, hold on to your ass because this is
all right. So there's one option, and I don't know where it came from, and I'm not gonna name names, but there's a traction control option for the Lambos, and it's $45,000
From the factory?
No, from one of the builders.
Okay.
Really?
And the funny thing is the ECU that they run has traction control in it, so it's kind of funny, but even funnier. And just to tell you the money and the money that's involved here, they have an air shifted sequential dog box type transmission for the Lambos,
Mm-hmm.
and it's $150,000 option for a transmission.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
$150,000 option.
This is big boy out. Yeah, I was telling Mike, I said, yeah, this traction control deal's $40. He's like, I spend more than that in soda at Sonic, or he said something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, not $40.
Yeah, I was kidding around.
Like $40K.
But I mean, think about. Listen,
That's amazing right there.
all right, I understand it gets a couple sensors and everything else, but what you're really talking about here, I think, is intellectual property, the software in a computer. It's more than what it is. I mean, like that's what we were talking about. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep.
This is like if you had a version of Windows and you had to pop an unlock code in it to do something, and it cost you $40,000.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. It's
nutty.
Well, is that like a torque vectoring traction control or just straight line traction control?
I think it's a
This
GPS
is,
satellite.
so it's
Really? So it's really
I just messed that up.
Wow.
I was like, I didn't think that'd be fast enough going
It
through.
just sounds
no,
like big boy toys
I just wanted to say that to Dad.
on steroids.
Could you imagine? But I mean, realistically, think about it. If you've got the money to drop $400 to $500 on a car, and then probably spend another $200 to $300 in it to run into the end of a cornfield, life's got to be pretty good. You really ain't worried about it. I would definitely, if I was that guy, I'd be wearing a helmet, a harness, a pillow, whatever I could strap on, I'd have.
No doubt.
I'd party with them after the competition.
Yeah.
They have a nice party going.
It's all it is, just to answer your question, is it's sensors on the wheels, engine speed, and it controls throttle blade.
Right.
I believe.
Well, but when way back in the original, when GTRs were at the drag strip, and they were saying, okay, we're not going to warranty your transmission if it blows. Well, there's like $35,000 transmissions for a GTR.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah,
there is now. Yeah.
They ain't cheap either. So
I mean, the gear set's $10,000.
yeah.
Well, you know what sucks? It's always nice to talk about things that,
You can't afford.
But I mean, this is like, everybody listening to this, like, well, who are those people? Because I mean, like they're
probably businessmen and men with money. Money comes from wherever, but they have a level of playing, and when they play with each other, the money doesn't matter. So it gets out of hand.
I gotta tell you,
It really doesn't matter.
I'm pretty happy where I'm at, and I couldn't even imagine getting there. Not possible.
What's the guy? He has like 150 cars in his garage. Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Oh, he's different.
That guy? I heard of him.
It's like, yeah, you look at him, you go,
Yeah, but that's a business. Those
that's
cars.
a lot of cars.
Yeah.
In the one garage, stacked on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually a
Beautiful.
museum. You can go in and you can go look at his cars.
Right, right.
Well, I don't think he's exactly supporting his lifestyle by tickets to the museum and popcorn. He ain't selling hot dogs out there, dude. What the, he's
There's good money in popcorn.
I know. But I mean, he's Tonight Show.
Popcorn
You know what I mean?
machine.
Well, he was, but they
that.
said he
works.
made more money on his side shows than the Tonight Show. He said that was just money.
Yeah.
Put it to the side money.
You're a sideshow, Ted.
Speaking of sideshow, Tad,
Yeah.
I have to ask, did you find anything about the injection stuff?
Not a bit.
Well, then why don't you share your problem? So if there's a Yellow Bullet administrator listening, he gets a little bit of hatred.
Yeah, do that.
Well,
Tell him
I tried to. I had an account on Yellow Bullet a couple of years ago when I was trying to research X275 stuff, and I haven't been on there for a few years. Went to get back on. Every email I put in there, nope, it's not part of it. So I had to re-sign up to get in there, and they got to send you the link to click. I didn't get that till the next day. Sometimes it's just annoying, so I couldn't get in there to ask any questions.
They email you the finger?
No, just the link.
No clown. In the
No, the clown. Oh, the clown is just mostly between me and Tom. But
So it's impossible to get back on, basically, in any kind of timely fashion?
from what I can tell, I'm back on now. But it was from last night until this morning.
Well, was this a new account or was it a password reset?
No, I made a new account because it couldn't find anything, any email addresses. I put all my email addresses in there. Said this is not a known address.
Do you call it the bullet?
No.
Thomas, he's messing with you.
Maybe it's because you got to sound cool when you're talking about
Well,
it.
so
The owner sold Yellow Bullet.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I know
So
it was sold.
what's his Monty Mikho or something? He sold it.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wonder
it's
what he
been
sold
different.
it.
It's been different
Wonder what
for
he
a
sold
couple
it
of
for.
years.
For how much?
Oh, he had to sell it for.
It had to be pretty
I mean,
good.
there's a lot of action in that.
Yeah, because I read they make jokes about him coming back, and nobody wants him to come back.
So the question is, was the only thing that you found, or the only thing you were trying to look up was
Fuel injection, self-learning fuel injection.
right? But I mean, you were just waiting to talk to people on Yellow Bullet because we do have a guy that's a listener,
Right.
posted on our Facebook page that actually installed one of these systems and he's using it and he's gone in the 11s. Now I mean, I don't know what his car was like. I can't say anything about it, but he made self-learning passes, let it learn its own thing, and it sounds like he took a carburetor off and went right from the carburetor into the fuel injection, got it to learn. Now, I don't have any history, and I if I knew more about it, I wouldn't even talk more about it because I want the guy to call in because it's a real world experience. He put the thing in, he used it, he can tell you what the problems he had was, and I don't know what brand. I think he said he had the Holly. I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to call in, 908-751-0211, if you got any kind of self-learning injection. I talked to one of my guys about the Fast Easy EFI 2.0, which is also self-learning. And he told me exactly kind of what I said at the last show. You bolt this thing on, you put in a couple of, base map parameters, and it really does learn. And his deal makes 800.
Really?
Yeah.
Not bad. Naturally aspirated
Pretty
or
damn
boost?
no boost.
No boost.
Weather sensitive too.
Well, I mean, if it's got wideband, it would be.
Yeah, and inlet air temp the inlet air temperature
Well,
comes
yeah,
up outside.
yeah. You need all that.
So you got probably a map sensor of some kind, which I don't know how sensitive they really are to barometer, but I mean, I would imagine it must take care of everything. I mean, the major correction is probably made by the O2 and the inlet air.
It is inlet air, draw position, just probably a map. And
Now, did you talk to a manufacturer of this?
no, I talked to an engine builder
Okay.
who he's direct with he's actually direct with Holly and Fast.
Now I did do some research on this. MSD has one. Holly has one.
Yep.
The MSD one is the one that I was reading their forums, and because I know MSD had bought, I believe, in the very beginning, EFI Technologies, and that was the one that I like. They have videos, you know, and of course it makes it look so easy. You know, you put you put it on and you
Start it up.
pick up the little handheld and you tell it that I've got a motor and it's this big, and you start it up and you see the guy drive down the road. You know. I would have a hard time believing it's quite that easy.
You know, my guy made it sound like the Fast Easy EFI is that easy.
Okay.
You know, it's not out of the realm of technology, man.
No, it's not. I mean, you get some base parameters that are what should be realistically good enough to get the motor to start. I'm sure that there's probably enough intelligence at the computer side to say, you know, figure out O2 response time, figure out engine speed. You have an approximate speed of the exhaust gas. They could probably, you know, build in a program behind mode, so that it knows to go back X amount of milliseconds to really try to trim nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It probably can be done.
Well,
I don't know.
From what I read, though, they were talking about there's the ECUs are that much more powerful now that they can correct in real time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they had to look for a map that was already sit there to match the parameters.
The thing is, they can correct in real time on, you know, NA stuff that's really not high power.
Right.
I don't know if they're that good yet.
I must interject.
Go.
You can't correct in real time with an O2 sensor. You can't.
Well, yeah,
Because
it's never in real time. It's
you're-
just
right.
closer.
It's
Because you're
You're after the event.
right.
Right. So the exhaust side is done.
so it's still
Just a complete
interpolating
situation,
and
right.
extrapolating.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's in the future and it can just that good.
Oh, shut up, Ted. God. I need a Ted filter or something. What the? All right. So basically, the assignment I gave you was just
Yeah. Move.
failure.
Yep.
Okay, but you're going to work on this for next week,
Oh yeah.
and,
No, he's not.
and hopefully we can get the caller in.
Now that I'm on Yellow Bullet, you know, but
The bullet.
You know, you guys are speaking about the fast stuff.
Mhm.
When they do the dry systems for nitrous oxide, it's pretty high tech how the ECM has to change itself around for the compensation of no fuel side to the nitrous.
Yep.
So that right there, that technology alone in the nitrous side,
Yeah.
that has to be great.
It
for
is.
guys out here not blowing their motors clean up with that.
Well,
dry
it is,
system.
but the dry system stuff is very small.
Very small compared to what we're talking about.
No, it's small compared to what you can do. Like, there's nobody out there, I don't believe, and I think I'm right. You can't put 3 stages of dry system on.
Oh no. That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
you could put a 100 horsepower kit on or 50 horsepower
Oh,
kit.
okay. So the dry systems aren't really trying to make a lot of power.
No.
No, but what they are, what I've heard anyway, and I could be completely wrong, is that they use it for the fine tuning. So let's say if you're gonna introduce nitrous through, and you know that you're jetting, or you know your nitrous jetting is always the same, you can trim the injector based on if you're trying to lean. I even heard, now this might be total bullshit, but somebody told me they got a bottle pressure transducer that tells the computer what to trim as the pressure falls on your pass.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Who told you that?
Can't remember, but somebody that, like, I wouldn't have mentioned it, and this happens to me all the time. I hear
That sounds
something.
familiar to me too because of the V300 that we used to have. There was an extra kit to it all that you could connect to your nitrous line
Yeah,
for drop of pressure.
I mean, look, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
But
Like
that might have been a safety situation.
probably a safety thing.
Well,
but
no, it's just the opposite. I mean, when bottle pressure falls, you don't need as much fuel.
right. Well,
So-
I mean, we had that whole discussion of things that can happen event-wise and burning the fuel late and everything. No, but I mean, whoever told me this, and it'll come back to me. Like I said, I'm a little effed up over this whole weekend. We'll get back into the rest of my cluster F later today. But yeah, somebody had told me that I would have put some weight on what they told me. You know, it wasn't like some guy saying, "Hey, know what I heard?" You know, like just some nitwit. I mean, this guy, you know, was around.
Yeah,
Might even
yeah,
been
yeah.
one of the guys from Anthony's. I don't know. I don't know.
It doesn't sound right to me, but it could be.
Well, I mean, why doesn't it? If one of the things that happens with the nitrous cars is the pressure drop down the track, even with 2 bottles, because think about the quantity. I mean, if you got that liquid, that gas coming off of the solid liquid being used, it gets cold.
Well, there might be a slight misunderstanding here.
Okay.
There might be a table for that.
Yeah. Well,
that you have to. I mean, but we were talking about self-learning. There's no.
Oh no, I'm not saying self-learning for nitrous. No.
Oh,
no,
so just a table.
I'm saying pressure transducer, and
Oh,
the pressure transducer tells the PCM to now pull fuel as bottle pressure comes down.
Yeah.
To maintain your.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Your tone.
I would believe that,
That
and
sounds
you
more
would you'd manipulate a map.
Yeah, another map.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand that. I really don't have a good foundation of it because I've never done it that way.
But you know what? You do have a good
Sounds
foundation.
But
of
it sounds pretty.
I know,
fundamental.
but like all the stuff, everybody in this room, even you, Todd, would understand.
That was hateful.
would understand how a lot of the programming works once they can look at the screen and digitally see what's happening to simulate a carburetor.
Oh,
I mean, once you
ratio.
Once you understand that this actually simulates a power valve and this actually simulates an accelerator pump, and given the fact that we should all know what those parts do,
right?
Then you at least have the idea. You know where to go. It's really not as bad as you think.
Yeah, the more complicated stuff,
But-
buried in tables makes it. A lot harder.
I had an experience with Mike, matter of fact, years ago when I tried nitrous, of course, on an import, my CRX. I remember like an idiot, we were pulling into the 7-Eleven and I floored it from idle with the nitrous on. The airbox exploded, the engine hood lifted, and the guy walking out of 7-Eleven hit the dirt. He thought there was somebody shooting.
He was
at
putting in the 7-Eleven at like 500 RPM, and then just jumped on the thing. Kabam!
Boom!
Blew the whole. I mean,
It was hilarious.
With the nitrous on.
Yeah.
Nitrous on, and the hood lifted up because the airbox just grenaded.
What's a CRX?
the Honda,
Honda CRX.
Oh,
It's a little hatchback 2-door thing.
kind of little
little
girl's
thing.
car. Yeah.
That was
they're
the
fun.
Subaru guy cutting in on your ass just now.
Oh,
That's the kind of car Subaru guys make fun of.
Yeah, right. That's
Hey,
the
that-
pecking order.
Yeah,
Hey,
right,
I put
right
sway
over
bars-
his head. Woo!
I put sway bars on that thing, big tires on it. That thing handled like a go-kart. It was fun, especially for the price.
Yeah, it was a neat little car. So, Crunch, why don't you tell us about your grudge race? Now, I made a factual error. I thought the race was for 80. It wasn't for 80. It was 20 aside, right? So it was for 40.
Yeah.
Still, that's a hell of a number.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember
You could buy Lamborghini traction control for that.
Almost.
Almost. Put a little in.
I thought that the big dogs in drag racing were doing it up. That's doing it up.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, those might be the drag racing guys on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But I was at Capitol in Maryland. You remember I told the situation about the guys who lost all the money when the tree was faulty?
Yeah.
All right, that's John and Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they raced HD again. Same Corvette against the Firebird.
Right.
But this time, Travis Harvey driving. Everybody knows who Travis Harvey is. They get in the line, get in the lights. Lights come down. Head up race. Beautiful race. Neck and neck. Firebird starts pulling away. It looks like they hit the little panic button for the Firebird, the vet, and blew it clean up. Firebird gets off his bumpers. So John and Bull won. They got their revenge. And the Old Jacks, HD is what he's called, the Old Jacks. They were walking around the track afterwards with their heads down. They didn't look too happy. So
Yeah.
They lost 20 grand.
yeah, well, they won 50 on a fault of a tree.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
I mean, listen.
they just weren't happy, and Bull got his revenge. My little Jamaican buddy. You remember Bull?
Yeah, he's told on me constantly.
Yeah. He got his revenge, and he went on the internet, and he got his revenge. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Bragging rights.
I had said to try to get him on here because he would be funny to talk to, but nobody would understand a guy. It takes me 5 minutes, and I got to be like, "What?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"Huh?
Bull,
What?"
He's not into all that media stuff. But when you see him in person,
Yeah.
he'll talk about you bad.
Yeah,
It's a lot of $100 bills, man.
Yeah.
They got along. It got a few races on. Kevin Hunt from New York. He went out there. He beat Jason from Patterson, the Tube Chassis Camaro. Jason left first. He went right around him. This is an 8th mile race.
Right.
So that's pretty big. You just go right around somebody in the 8th mile.
Why don't we build a car, man?
Yeah.
you're not even talking about that, but I don't know.
Come on, quit being a baby.
We need that dough.
Yeah,
We got dough.
We got that dough.
It's got
We
plenty
gotta
of
get the
spare
Malibu
vets.
going. But back to Capitol. Capitol was good. Grudge racing all day. I rode down with my son. He bought a black 2010 HHR. So I don't like this vehicle. But the air conditioning was cold. I was sitting in the back seat. He had his girlfriend in the front. I had a good time.
what is an HHR? Is that Is that the V8 thing?
the little Chevy? Looks like a PT Cruiser, but
Yeah.
it's a Chevy version.
Is it a V8 or
No.
is that the
No,
other one?
that
No,
one.
the V8's the SSR.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little pickup truck.
Yeah,
Looks
little
like an
pickup
egg.
truck look-
Yeah.
It's a weird looking, but he's
Yeah.
he's 19 years old, so
Yeah, they're all right. The SSR is awful.
Is it?
Oof.
the air was cold.
Yeah, that's all
He
that
was
matters.
driving, so I was happy. He has a little girlfriend in the front.
Anything new from Fly Tie or any of the usual suspects at this point?
Fly Tie hasn't said much.
All right.
I'm in the lab, so as soon as I get done with this pot of soup and stirring it up, I'll be calling Fly Tie
Okay.
so we can settle up.
Well, if this one goes off, I'd like to be there.
In the lab.
Yeah, the lab, the garage.
I got that.
Yeah, we stand around in the garage and pray over the cars and stuff.
Making soup,
Voodoo.
stirring the soup.
That's how we make horsepower.
You got a Fly Tie voodoo doll?
No, I wouldn't waste my time on that.
Oh, come on, man. The guy was nice.
He
to
might
you.
be. Yeah, he might be listening.
I don't think you need to antagonize him until you're a little
It's cool,
closer
it's
to
cool,
ready.
but I wouldn't make a doll for him.
All right. So
It'd be funny though.
I guess I got to explain the picture on the website.
Your broken car.
Yeah. So we already went over in the very beginning of the show, the passing of Mr. Cornell and why the racing weekend started out awful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this week at New Egypt Speedway, there were no modifieds. Brian's car's modifieds. We were going to go down there and test. We tested, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, and like you could just go right there and race, but Brian hasn't raced in a few years, so he just wanted to get a bunch of laps. So he went down there to get a bunch of laps, and it rained, so we got like one, maybe 5 lap session, and it wasn't even really 5 laps. It was behind like enduros or late models or something, so they're not very fast. So then you run up on them, and those guys are animals. They're just bouncing off each other. They're spinning it. It's just, you're going so much faster than they are. It's not worth being out there with them. So we also found out that the car was heavier than we wanted to be for gasoline because we were going to try to run gasoline.
How heavy is it?
It was.
Didn't you? It was on a diet last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, and it's better, but I don't know if we're going to get there.
Did you get that 40-pound battery out of it?
No, not yet. But that's a problem because you take that battery out, then you lose left side percentage. And here's anybody listening, from across. They're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" First off, the car's a Northeast dirt modified that nobody will know unless you're guess where in the Northeast.
Right.
And why would anybody come here?
Yeah, it's a strange car. It's got a solid front axle. Most of the cars have, coil spring in the front end, torsion bars in the back. They're not like an IMCA car, which is another type of car. The driver sits centered. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's important to understand the proximity of the transmission when you see this picture, because a lot of people wouldn't get it because they think that the transmission is to the right of you. No, the transmission and drive shaft are like a sprint car. They're right between your legs, like right by your feet.
Oof.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that.
So that picture that's on there, for the people that don't know what this car is, there's a green, like it looks like a piece of metal strapping, like it's kind of, but you could see it's got curvage to it. And there's a rod end off the thing. That rod end, that is the location. That's the gas pedal, what you're looking at right there, right immediately next to, I would say probably within 4 inches of the transmission.
Which looked like an explosion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is curvage a word?
Curvage. It's a word for me.
With drifters, I think they hit a lot of curvage.
Well, what about women with the curvage of a woman?
All right. Am I serious?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Oh,
Did you
wow.
just start doing this today? Turning your phone on?
It was on no interruptions.
Do I have to put you in a penalty box?
Apparently, you might have.
No.
That was the word coming up.
So, the transmission picture, the reason I addressed that first is because that is how kind of everything ended. But let me take a few steps back. So we get the car in a trailer Saturday. Brian closes the trailer door, my brother.
I forgot about that.
And I will get a little further into this. And we're driving down 295. And a guy, they said it was a little Indian guy or a little foreign guy, I don't know.
Right.
But he drove up next to us almost making like the Pac-Man thing. And I didn't know what he was saying at first. Then we kind of figured out he was telling us that the door was open on the back of the trailer.
Oh,
And I was like,
oh, flapping
who-
on the ground.
Yep. I said, who the fuck closed that door? And Brian's like, I did, and it was shut. And I'm like, I was mad, but I contained myself. I didn't yell at him. I'm like, so we get back there. The rubber support blocks that hold it off the ground to make the extension ramp, the right angle and everything, they're gone. The trailer looks like it was a sharpened axe handle dragging on the road, and I'm like, it's blue, from the friction. And I mean, we look back,
That's
you look
a long ride with.
well, it wasn't,
that.
I don't think it was that far because we had just taken the ramp on to 295. So I think my bet is that knowing a little more about what I'm going to continue here, it fell off right at the ramp. So we got, I don't know, probably maybe a mile with the ramp dragging down.
Luckily.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's smoke.
He did strap the car down, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all strapped down. It's all good.
Just checking.
So then we get out. I'm like, you motherfucker. We close the door and I'm like, I'm still pissed off because I'm like, what a fucking dumbass, spastic little jerk. I get in the truck and we start going again. Well, we turn off 295 and get on 195. Oomph. Doors down again. Are you fucking kidding me? Pull over, put the door up, and Brian's like, it was latched. I said, I'm pretty sure it was latched. So we pushed on it and tried and did everything we could. So you go inside and it's got cam locks that grab the back.
Right.
Well, the cam locks are only on the thing now by like, I don't know, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. So here's what's happening. You go around a corner, you go left, the left one pops out.
One. Yeah.
You go right, the other one pops out, bam, door falls down. Son of a, so we picked the trailer door up like 5 times before we got into the racetrack. It was almost like we're ready to bail out the minute we go around a corner because we know we got to stop and put the door back up.
Wow.
And because of the way that the ramp is and everything on it, there was really no way to hook it up. Just tie it inside. There was no kind of way to do it. There was really, and you couldn't wrap a tie strap around a whole damn trailer. I mean, it is what it is. So we get there, we get the car out and, got the thing started, which was a project. It didn't want to start. Starter wasn't catching. Now that's important because the starter mounts on the bell housing. And the bell housing is a pinion gear that grabs the flywheel. And just like a typical starter that's missing. Hit it again, finally it catches, and they can be temperamental, those things. Even when you got them shimmed right, all of a sudden they can become a problem. But it wasn't a problem last week. Makes 5 laps or whatever, just feeling the car out. Brakes needed adjustment because we did a lot of stuff to the car. One of which being a brand new transmission, brand new drive shaft, and quite a bit of work done to put all that stuff in. So he came in, made some adjustments to the brakes, which we changed around. He's really happy with the brakes. The brakes seem good. He said, I'm just going to take a couple hits. I'm going to get the brakes adjusted and then, make hard laps. It's all right. Goes out for the next session. Hardly got the car started. It was parked at the entrance ramp to the track. Wouldn't start. Finally gets it. Gets on the track. I see him adjusting the brakes, meaning he's driving in, jumping on the throttle, then jumping on the brakes to try to get the bias right. Jumps on it, and he's sailing it into 1 and 2. Like, it was really elevated in RPM. Like, to the point that I didn't know. I almost thought that it broke driving it in because I hadn't heard it that high in RPM. I don't even know. We don't have a tack in it, because usually you just gear it. It is what it is. You know where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then right in the middle of 1 and 2, bam. I mean, massive noise, parts outside of the car. I'm like, mother. And so, look, remember I told you the other week, wasn't worried about a fucking thing. I don't care. Well, now I was worried because I just put the drive shaft in. All the U-bolts, everything had the yoke off the back of the trans, that bolts back on, a whole transmission in it, drive shaft shield, all the stuff associated with it. I'm like, wow.
And you did all the work, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? So I got to tell you, drive shaft is beat to shit. Yokes are ripped apart because the transmission fell the fuck out, but it's where it's got to be. U-joints didn't burn up. U-bolt straps are there. Yokes didn't break. U-bolts broke, I think, when the thing got twisted sideways.
Right.
I really think the bell housing broke.
Sure looks like it.
It looks like it was cracked, maybe.
That's what I said.
And then it severed at some point during stress, like wide open throttle.
Nope, and listen, people break drive shafts. They break all kinds of stuff, and that doesn't happen. That only happens in like bad accidents. It just doesn't happen. Like people I've never seen that.
We should look at it. Maybe it's got a casting flaw in it.
We don't even have it all the way out yet. We got the big pieces out.
When you take it out.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. So, that's kind of how the whole friggin' weekend went.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just bad from start to finish. So now, listen, trans got beat up from everything getting twisted around the back of it, broke the shifter linkage off, the cable, it's a cable shifted, that's all shot. Stripped the coupler and the motor, bell housing shot, motor plates bent. I mean, it's just, because the trans came down, probably got jammed, and now when the bell housing fell down, it bent the motor plate. I mean, it's just a freaking mess. Drive shaft, both yokes, both U-joints.
Well, on a good note, who pays for that?
Well, Brian's going to pay for it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
not going to cost $45,000 to fix, though.
No,
That's true.
No,
that is true.
Could be worse. You could need to add traction control to your Lamborghini. Yeah.
Well, 908-751-0211. I wish someone would call in, at least hate on us or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, John's going to call. And the other thing about the Circle Track guys, again, this isn't always their kind of show.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't really listen, to stuff like this. And I understand it. I mean, and
aren't they the guys you used to call hillbillies?
They are hillbillies. Every one of them knows it.
There you go.
I'm one of them too. I mean,
Yeah, you kind of are.
I'm comfortable there. I feel like, one of the people.
Hey, like us on Facebook too.
That's recorded too.
What?
Do you feel like one of those people?
Shut up, Ted. No, I mean, it's but those guys, we can't just talk about Circle Track cars all the time, because there's, again, what we do is very concentrated to the Northeast.
Yep.
That's it. We race car brands that nobody anywhere else is ever going to heard of. There's Bicknell, there's Tio, Troyer, I think, did some asphalt dirt modifieds, but
I'm getting interested though.
I don't know why.
I like this.
Well, you bring your dumbass up here and get into work in the garage, because I don't want to do it.
I'm getting interested.
And
I want to
it's
see this go down.
We should go to a race too. We don't do anything as a group. Why?
No, we don't.
Why is that?
Well,
We
there's
go to
reasons.
Sonic together.
True.
I got somebody here. I don't know. This might be John. Hang on a minute here.
I hope not.
Nah, he's good, man. He's
I
always,
know.
He's always entertaining.
I know.
You there, JJ?
Yeah.
I knew it was you. I don't ever know your number. I just have you. What do I have you in my cell phone as, buddy?
Big Dick.
No.
Oh,
He's in my cell phone under stupid, because that's, he always makes fun of me, because like, you're always calling everybody stupid. You're always calling everybody idiot.
Dummy, dope, stupid, all your stuff.
Yep.
I just left the funeral of my dear friend, the wake. Sad.
It's awful, dude, isn't it?
I told the actual owner of the funeral home grew up with Johnny, Big John, since they were 8 years old.
Wow.
He kept all little Johnny's micro sprints and all of his, his slingshot in the actual garage behind the place.
Now,
There's pictures of Big John and Johnny when Johnny was like probably 7, 8, 9, 10 years old in the place, besides what the mother brought in.
wow.
He says, yeah, he says, I used to help him, he says, with the cars. He says, these pictures have been here for years. I told him how me and Big John met, and he just started laughing.
Yeah.
Wow, what a small world.
I touched on that story, and I don't think I could get it right, because it was you and Cody, right?
Yeah, but I was talking,
Yeah, well, shocker.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was the Bud shootout. I mean, I don't know how many seats are at the Daytona 500, but I know there's a lot of seats there. And I just, it was one of them things, we scalped tickets, and you know me, I told Cody, follow me, I'm finding the best seat. So, I'm walking past security, they're saying, hold on, sir. I'm like, yeah, okay, yep. Just blowing them off, doing what I do.
Wait a minute. Is this the same year that the security guard chased you around a parking lot?
I met Johnny at the Bud shootout. That was 1 week prior to the Daytona 500 when I took the security guy for a ride around the whole parking lot. I'll get back on that real quick, but make a long story short, I sat down in these great seats, and I think it was called like the I'm going to say like the Bud Tower or something crazy, these awesome seats. And, and I'm sitting down, and I'm trying not to make, too much of a scene because I don't belong there. So I start talking to the guy ahead of me once the security guy comes up because he wants to check my ticket, and I'm making like I'm preoccupied. So I start talking to this man ahead of me. I'm like, hey, man, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. We start talking, and he looks at me and smiles and says, where are you from? I said, New Jersey. I said, how about you? He's like, yeah, me too. He says, whereabouts? So I tell him, Neshannock. He's like, come on, man. I said, what? And he just looks at me. He says, are you fucking with me? And I said, not at all. Why? He says, and I told him where I lived. He told me where he lived. And we happen to live like 4 miles apart.
Wow.
And we never ran into this guy because at that point they
never seen him. And listen, Mike and I were all over this town our whole lives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To never see him, but the reason why we didn't see him, he went to work. He worked, he was a dispatcher for a limousine company. He went to work at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he used to get home at 1 o'clock in the morning. So of course you wouldn't see him unless you knew him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess realistically, they raced a lot of asphalt stuff. Well, the kids were young.
Yeah, he raced little stuff. And then he asked me, he says, listen, he says, my son wants to start to race dirt. He says, do you mind if he starts helping you? I said, no, absolutely not. I said, great. That'd be great if you helped me.
Yeah, and that's the first time I met Good Johnny was because of you.
Yep.
Him was Lumpy with you then? Was Kevin working with you?
I got him. I had Kevin first. Listen, when I first got Kevin, he didn't know what a 7/16 wrench was.
You're gonna hate on this kid now. He works
Lumpy.
for some good guys, and you're hating on a guy.
He works for a NASCAR team now, and he didn't know what a 7/16 wrench was. And I told him, Kevin, if you come back, I'm giving you a week. I'm going to write them all down. I'm giving you a week. If you don't know what a 7/16 or a 9/16 or a 15, I said, I promise you, I'm going to throw one at you so hard it's going to stick in your head.
So the guy telling the story right now wanted to measure a push rod with a ruler last week.
Yeah, this is
just
the guy
for
who was.
perspective.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not Alan, is it?
No,
Oh man.
no. John he was trying to get a push rod measurement, but that's another story.
Yeah. With a tape measure.
So that's how we met Mr. Good Johnny. I mean, you met him and brought him up here, and
Guys, honestly, believe me, I've run across a lot of people in my life. I'm not just saying it because he's gone. This guy was a true gentleman.
yeah,
I mean, it's sad. I think he loved his wife. He loved his children. He would go above and beyond. Mike was his pal, even though Mike took probably 7 months to get a short block. He still loved him the same, right, Mike?
yep, absolutely. Yeah, because I did some stuff from him in the end stages of me doing motors still here, right?
Yep.
And I mean that guy, and like John said, everybody always says it, when somebody passes away, like, oh, he was a nice guy. I mean, look,
No, but I'm not just
right.
He truly was.
This individual, Mr. Cornell, I mean, he really was that guy. He's the guy. I mean, John, you know who should go? Guys like me and you, not him. We're the guys that are.
Nice guy, though, True.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't go.
John is a good guy. He's a character.
Nice guy,
It's just
I feel terrible, his wife. I went up, I hugged him, the son, the sister, the wife hugged me, and she says, John, he truly loved you. I said, I loved him too, man.
yeah.
Because he would go home and tell me stories about you. I said, I know. I said, listen, I'm a pretty tough guy. I said, but I got to be honest with you, this here took me, man.
Yeah. Me too.
He's
Yeah,
59. He's a young guy.
And I mean, I made an offer for you before, but I'm sure that you'd agree. I said, if any member of the family needs anything, to call, me, Brian, you, Cody, anybody, anything we can do, we'll do it.
And and like I told this morning, his son, I stopped at the house to see him before he had to go deal with all this. And, I mean, of course he was tragic, and I just told him, I says, Johnny, listen, I says, you have to apply everything that your father has put into you his whole life. That's for now. That's what dads do.
Yeah.
I said, now's the time that you got to apply everything you learned from it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Your
bottom line,
All right, your phone cleared up. All right, well, listen,
Have a good night, guys.
No, don't hang up yet. You gotta make some people laugh before you go, dude. Yeah, you have to tell that story about the guy chasing you around the Daytona parking lot, because that's just priceless.
All right. Here it is, the Daytona 500. The road, guys, the cars. We're traffic for miles. So I say to Cody, Cody's telling me, park here, park here, park here. I'm like, what are you, retarded? I ain't walking that far. He says, listen to me, John. If you don't park here, he says, we're going to have to, we're going to get thrown out and you're going to have to park further because every minute cars are parking. I said, hey, Cody, listen to me real quick. I am not parking out here. I'm parking inside. So I wiggle my way through all this security. Everyone's, hey, stop. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm waving. How are you? Right? Finally, I get down to the last area where it's heavy security. And I'm pulling into the actual Sprint Tower. That's where I sat, Mike. Remember I couldn't think of the seat that I sat in?
Yeah, it was a Sprint Tower. So you were basically going into the reserved Sprint parking area.
I was going to where,
Sprint Cup.
I was going to where, if the president came, that's where he would park. Yeah, I wasn't walking. It wasn't happening. I was tired. It was hot. I was parking up front. I didn't give a shit. So I get past this last group of guards, probably 11, 12 of them. And I look in my mirror, and I'm laughing, right? And Cody's like, you're going to get arrested. I said, for what? He says, this is crazy. You can't do shit like this. Mike, I was laughing so hard I was crying. As I'm laughing, I look in the mirror, and I see a security guard trying to catch me on foot. I said to Cody, look at this idiot. He says, what do you mean? So he looks in the mirror. So now, as I'm going, let's say, right to wiggle through the parking lot, he's going diagonal to try to cut me off and stop me at the end of that road. Okay?
Right. So Cody's telling you the direction that the guy's going, so you can go the other way.
Yeah, he's saying he's going right. I'm like, okay, so I go left. He's coming left. I go right. Guys, I ran this poor guy through this parking lot. I was doing probably 20 miles an hour, 15 to 20. I ran this guy around that parking lot for 10 minutes. Okay? I finally parked where it says reserved, something like Dale Earnhardt family. I park in there. Right? So I get out of the car like nothing's happening, So now this poor guy comes walking up to the car and he's like,
can't even breathe.
Of course not.
Can't even breathe. He's falling over. I said, hey, bud, you all right? Sir. I said, yo. I says, what? I says, hold on a second. I said, you want a water or something? I said, what's going on? I looked at him. I said, what's going on here? He says, you can't park. You can't park here. You can't park here. I said, wait a second. Hold on a minute. Why are you so out of breath? So he's breathing hard and heavy. He looks at me and says, I chased you through every parking lot in this place.
And then
So I looked at him and I said, hey, man, seriously, you're going to break my balls about the park here? After what I just went through? Yeah.
Did he make you leave?
Nah, yeah, I left him and I went around the cars. He was already shot out of breath. I did a complete loop and parked in the same spot.
all right, JJ. Thank you for this is
David? Hey, that's some funny shit, though, ain't it, guys?
That is, and it's all true because this story, I heard this story before John told me. This was told to me by Cody, who was with him. And he's like, Mike, this stupid, he just doesn't care, Mike. He just doesn't care. He's like, this poor guy is dying. And John's like, yo, buddy, you okay? Are you all right? Do you need something?
You need a drink. You need a drink, I asked him.
And he's like, and John's acted like this to the guy, and he just did it to him.
Mike, I didn't even know what he was. I said, what's happening here? You all right, pal?
Is this the same guy that would go in the woods and come out with the gallon?
Gas
of
can.
That's him.
That's
Yeah.
him.
Just checking.
Listen, there are stories we could have him on once a week for probably a year, maybe 2, 3. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
He's a legend.
But someday we'll get into the generator story, JJ.
You got it, buddy. Hey, Mike, you got to do what you got to do. I ain't no quitter.
I know. I hear you. All right, man. Well, thanks, buddy. See ya.
Later, John.
Good night, man.
Fucking JJ.
He's crazy.
All these stories are true.
I know.
Like these stories you're going to hear from this guy are 100% true.
I might actually know him longer than you or earlier than you. With Aldo says before high school or anything like that.
Didn't we play poker with him once at the shop?
Maybe. Remember, he was the guy that was like all in as soon as
every
he-
time.
If he had 2 cards that were
Didn't
like the
matter.
same color,
Yeah,
it didn't
they're
matter.
from the same deck. They're in the same county. It's like, I'm all in.
Zero self-control.
Yeah.
So he's bluff master. Bluff master.
Yeah. And, I kind of feel like I got to apologize to people listening to this that it wasn't the
The happy show.
Yeah,
The fun
I'm just
show.
not in it, dude. I missed the guy and it sucks. And, it's just,
Well, he deserves a show to himself.
yeah. Well, I mean,
We can give him that.
Yep. Good man. And I'm sorry to bring everybody else down. And I mean, I'm sure people listen and, people probably didn't, I mean, I know a chunk of people listen, but they probably didn't want to call it like, oh man, Mike's bummed out,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I'm going to,
That's right. Next week, we'll get people calling and hate on you for.
well, actually, next week, I have a little bit of hating to do on some very specific internet cowboys that think that they're fucking smart.
Nice.
And, next week is probably going to be a little bit bad.
So we'll have a whole week to game plan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have some time to get these guys.
You guys in?
We're in.
All right.
Tad?
Why not?
Say goodnight, Tad.
Good night, Tad.
All right. I'll see you guys next week. Like us on Facebook, like us on iTunes. We'll be back Monday night again, 7 to 7:15 area. So give us a shot. See ya.